Okay guys, so actually competitive Molotovs here. First one's going to be for the back of B or the default area of cache. So you're going to jump on these boxes here as you're rotating in or whatever. Just aim to the left of the bottom of this B sign, maybe out like that, and just chuck your Molotov. That's going to molly off the default plant position, also behind this first stack of boxes here. And you see both players will go down relatively quickly. Now, how do you use this Molotov is what I'm going to be looking at also in this video. And there's lots of videos showing you this is a Molotov, that's great. I'll put timestamps in the description below if you just want to learn the Molotovs yourself and don't want to hear my explanation. So have a look, I'll pin it in the comments. So what's the player going to do? You Molotov them off here if they're planting the bomb. So you throw this Molotov as the bomb's going down. He's going to move himself straight over here and plant here. He's not going to wait for 7 seconds to pass for that Molotov fades and then run back over there and plant. He's going to plant here, get the seconds ticking on that bomb. So your counter to this is, you can do multiple things. If you have a nade left, it's one of my favorite options, you molly him off, then just swing out a little bit wider and throw a nade, so you can do that. Hopefully with the way the Molotovs work and the nades work, is as he's coming out here, he's going to get caught by this nade because it slows your movement. You're going to take some extra damage, you can potentially get the kill. Option number 2, if you prefer, is exactly the same thing, just swing a little bit wider and then nade the plant spot where he's going to be. So he's going to be planting here, you can maybe do some nice damage like that. Now, the other way you can use this Molotov is obviously after plant. Your teammate's about to rotate in, or rotate in for the retake, and you're like, okay guys, let's go for this retake. Let's start it off with Molotoving off default, one less spot we have to check. So you're going to Molotov this off. The player might not move here. He can move on to generator, a good after plant position, especially if he's already got a teammate here. And yeah, that's all you have to be aware of really. I mean, you can come up with your own solutions, maybe flashing him or whatever, but then you're not going to really be exposed to there. But you should have these other systems involved, but just be aware of where the players are likely to move and what kind of counters you could have to them in this situation. But sticking with the after plant bomb going down scenario, say you're an overpass, you've been smoked off. Maybe you wanted this standard execute that has been used, that's a good smoke right there. But you know, you're smoked off like this, or maybe they've even just smoked you off at bank and you're rotating in, or you just want to give it up and try and retake. This is a good Molotov to buy time or force the bomb planter off. You're just going to come into this corner, then aim at the bottom of this railing here and do a jump throw. And that's just going to land here and Molotov off this default position. See, it gets relatively close to the ground. And basically, any bomb planter here is going to be forced off. If he wants to plant the bomb ASAP, like I was talking about in cache, he's going to be forced over here to maybe plant at the truck or in this corner or something. And in that situation, you can maybe spray through the smoke. You can get in with your weapon. You've thrown this Molotov. You're like, okay, he's going to come through here. And you just spray through the smoke that they've got down or through here. You can just work out about where it is and maybe try and do some extra damage. The other option they're going to do is not move at all. They're going to just, well, they will move obviously, but they'll back off this way with the bomb and just kind of hold their position and waiting to come back in and plant. In which situation you've wasted a lot of time off their smokes and you make it a lot easier for your teammates to have time to rotate in. Sticking with Overpass this time, but on the T side, we're going to molly off the whole right hand side, the truck kind of area. So first molly, you're going to line stuff up this pole, just kind of along this wall. I mean, it's pretty general, something like this. Just going to aim up from the corner of the building, do a little bit of a push through, and that's going to molly off the front of truck and this corner here. If anyone's trying to be sneaky there, it's going to get these positions. Now molly number 2 to go along with it, this is something SK likes to do, is to put these two Molotovs together. Same wall, just along here, and exactly the same thing, up from the building and a little bit of a push through, and that's going to land just behind it. And you see the combination of these two Molotovs are going to clear out most of this corner. I mean, a player could technically sit back here, but players aren't normally going to be rotating back like that towards there. They're going to come and swing out a little bit wider, and you're going to take away this whole right hand side, which when your teammates are coming in from this way, that's a lot of area they don't really have to worry about too much. They don't have to check this corner, they can be concentrating more around the boxes and stuff like that. Into Mirage, now this is less of a Molotov, but something I didn't realize you could do until this other day, and if you watch my recent videos you probably know this, is if you're up on this boost spot, very powerful angles, you can actually chuck nades straight through here. I didn't realize you could do this. You'll see that's going to Molotov off the site, and you can do the same thing with smokes obviously, just try and lodge them in this doorway. One thing to note though is if you are up here, the Molotov is very effective, but if late in the round you're going to chuck a smoke into that hallway there, just keep in mind that this spot now they can sneak through without you knowing. Obviously that was a bad smoke, but if it landed in the doorway like intended, you're in this position, they can sneak through. If they decide they're desperate for time or whatever, late in the round they want to sneak through, and this spot's going to be pretty much useless because you can't see through the smoke and it's nowhere near as powerful as other angles. Just something to keep in mind when you're using nades from this spot. Maybe stick to the Molotov if you're not too sure about if the team's going to be pushing through the smoke. Now one thing that's a little bit popular lately is Molotoving off the default position on Mirage, and this is very useful, especially if the bomb hasn't gone down yet. So I'd say this is probably the most useful. Say they've gone for the standard execute and you're rotating in for a middle, and you think, I want to deny this plant. It's very simple, you're just going to line up with the edge of the staircase and up to the top of the arch basically. So there's the smokes don't affect your lineup, you can still always see the corner of the stairs, then you're just going to run forward and throw. That's going to bounce off the back box here and get the whole default area. This Molotov, however, I would say is not the most useful. if the bomb's already down, as after plant position, default isn't normally one of them, players will move back to here or A main or here or something like that. So I'd say if the bomb's already down, better off using your molly into the firebox or whatever. One thing to note is either if the smokes are down and you've Molotov off default, just know they're most likely going to move to plant triple. Let's just spray the smoke a little bit. You might be able to catch them off guard, get a lucky headshot or whatever. Just try and catch them as they're crossing to plant in the next most likely spot. Getting down PopDog can be a pain. I mean, obviously it'd be easy if you just molly the whole thing off. The first Molotov here doesn't work for the whole of PopDog. You can't molly the whole thing off. So you're just going to push yourself up against this wall, aim in between these two, and just out like this. You see that's going to Molotov off a large portion of PopDog, but not the back corner. So how do we do this? Well, Gobby and Big, I think, were the first ones to come up with this one. So you're going to line yourself up just this middle cross here. You're going to look into the corner, stay crouched down, and you're going to turn around and just imagine this window here is in quadrants. Obviously, you got to shoot it out first. You're just going to aim at the top right quadrant like this. That's going to Molotov off the back half. Then you combine it with this one, the whole of PopDog's molly. And you see this one lands outside but spreads to the inside. And then everywhere in here is going to be mollied off, forcing any player back out into the train yard pretty much. Or they can drop their smoke. Some players will do that. But when you're doing this, maybe if you want to catch a player off guard, someone's playing Popple all the time, have someone maybe posted up to potentially catch him off guard coming at A main. Obviously you don't want to overextend and get picked. But you could have some kind of system involved to punish this player falling back out and force the CTs to adapt really quickly to save this player's life. So the B side of Inferno is one of the most susceptible ones to a Molotov ton of hit. But my favourite one here, because it's the easiest to throw, it's not a jump throw, some people might struggle with that, is you get on top of this wall here, you're just going to line yourself up with the front right corner like so, look up and aim at that little bush in the tree. And the reason I like this one is that Molotov's off the dark, which is just basically most of the angles on this side of the site. It gets this dark position, but the good thing about this Molotov is it also clears out this pillar for you. So you can't play here, you're going to be forced all the way out here, which is then a pretty rubbish angle. So when you're entering the site, you know, okay, this is going to be sweet. I just have to clear out the fountain position and then concentrate all my power on the new box and oranges kind of area. Of course, CT smoke down, you want to make sure you're sticking close to the smoke so you don't get shot in the back from the guy up on boost. So an incredibly powerful Molotov for Nuke is going to be up on the roof, T-roof here. You're going to just line yourself up on the left one of these little, I don't know what you call them, little vent things. You're going to line yourself up with this corner. Stand up, shoot out these glass, obviously. And this one's for the top of the hut or the entrance here. You're going to just follow this one along and you're going to aim at the right side, basically in line with this up and down. Just going to walk forward a little bit and throw. It's a little run throw, sorry. And that's going to bounce off here and that's going to Molotov off the whole top of here. So you don't have to worry about when you come out of the site, or like you're probably the support guy there, when your teammates come out, they don't have to worry about coming out this angle, clearing this because the Molotov's already done it. Same with if you're coming out here, you're not going to get shot in the back as you try and come out. Just clears out a lot of options and makes sure, yeah, your entrance and where you have to look is a lot easier when coming into the A site. So the main purpose of Molotov is obviously just to clear out an angle you don't have to worry about. So when you're coming out B long, there's a lot of options, but tree can be one of the trickiest ones to deal with. Players often get 1 or 2 kills from there. So before coming out, you can simply tuck yourself in this corner, find the edge of the tower, just come down a couple of rows of bricks, you find this little upside down L, aim at the middle of it, around about there, and do a jump throw. That's going to fall over and Molotov off the whole tree position, and just basically getting rid of one angle you don't have to worry about. They can't sit anywhere up here. Maybe at the very front corner, but that's still a bit of a funky angle. They're more likely just to fall down, or they will fall down. No one's going to run through the Molotov and sit up here. So yeah, just a way of clearing out a possibly difficult angle to get rid of. So a staple to any team playing Overpass is short control. You need this control either side of the game. If you have this as a CT side, you're in a really good position to win the round. So a Molotov, just to get this early control, if I can find my way back into the map, is to just come out of spawn here, stop on this raised panel, and just aim up at the second balcony of the corner of the building. And that's going to very simply Molotov this out, and it's not going to allow any T players through at the start of a round. Your team can walk in here and take control of this kind of area, maybe even helping out connector, get up here or whatever, start your defense in this kind of area. Now, if you're the T side, there's a counter to this. You don't want to be locked out every round. You're going to come out of spawn, push yourself against this B side, and you're going to look up. There's a little faint line across the tower there. I'm not sure if you better see it in the video, but you're going to just look at the right hand side, run forward a little bit and throw. Now, that's going to stop any CTs getting short control. So it becomes a bit of a mind game. Both teams Molotov it off, it then becomes a bit of a brawl. Who's going to take control of this after Molotovs fade? A lot of the time the CT team will just give it up. But yeah, it basically becomes who's prepared to use the utility to gain control when. And that's basically all it is. Who wants this short control? Who's going to have the mind games? And even if the T side does Molotov this off, who's got the next idea to maybe flash in here, find a good flash to blind the guys coming out of the tunnel as your Molotov fades, and who's going to fight for this? And yeah, it becomes a bit of a Bit of a mind game, who's going to use their utility when, who wants control of this, and how bad do they want it. The T side can obviously throw this Molotov every single round, but in which case they're losing a Molotov every round. And if you're the CT team and you never go for this short control, they're going to keep stocked from that Molotov. So it becomes a, yeah, who's going to waste more utility for the other one in the long run, just from gaining this short control. That's it for Molotovs, guys. Make sure to check out the rest of my content if you're new to this channel. I do more analytical stuff, usually looking at how the pros play and how you can maybe adapt it into your own game. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.